Hey there, crafty peeps. It's Rhonda from Rhonda World 365. I am back with another junk journal to show you. This is from a swap on Junk Journal Junkies. It's a vintage day at the beach. So, I'm gonna go through and give you a flip through of my creation. This one ended, I believe, let's see, it ended the 11th. So we submitted our creations and we're going to be paired up. So as soon as we're paired up, I'll let you know who I'm paired up with. Sorry about that. My phone's moving around. So I'll let you know who I'm paired up with um, and show you their creation as soon as I get it. Now I went with a vintagey feel. I wanted like something that was maybe something you could carry out at the beach. I was liking that canvasy idea and things like that. So what I've done here is this is a hardback and it's almost 6 by 9. I think it's like maybe actually like 5 and 7/8. And then that one is just shy of 9, just barely. And then as you can see, it has for the closure, and it's a puffy, but not necessarily like over full or anything like that. So you can I just didn't want to do it too hard so you can see. So this is the closure, how they would close it if they want to. And then that would remain open. Now, the backing that you see here, I actually found this bag. It was like a gift bag, and it had this print on it, and it looked like something I would, you might see on an old album or something, and I was really liking the look of it, so I took the bag apart and used that. And then what you see here for the spine is, it's like a sticky back twill or sticky back canvas type of thing. And I had this kind of trim, like rope looking trim type of thing, and I really liked it, but I didn't have a lot of it, but I wanted to go in the inside too. So then when I came onto the outsides, I put these little shells here. I put a little shell to match on the base of that as well. And then what I did is I had these printables from different various places. Some of them were free, some of them I had to actually purchase and download and print out from like an Etsy shop or something like that. Well, one was an Etsy shop and one was like a shop I found online, and it was like a couple bucks. And they're actually on paper, but it kind of, the way that this is, gives it a cloth feel, because what I've done is I've mounted them onto the sticky back canvas, and then I went and stitched around them here and here, and I used 2 different stitchings because I thought that kind of gave it an older feel. And I've left a lot of these like little strings and tatterings so it looks worn, but still, just a little fun. And this crabby guy here up at the top, as you can see him, he is actually hiding the holes for one of the holes for the bags. So if you look here, you can see the hole, but it kind of blended in with that sand dollar-y thing that's up there. So I left that one because I couldn't, I didn't mind it. But the other one was a little bit more obvious. So I used this like trim here that kind of looks like maybe it was a fisherman net, and then the crab, like he was caught in the fishing net. And then over here, as you can tell, there are some shells that I used E6000 on, and then I went over them with Mod Podge just so that they would have a little bit of sturdiness to them. And they seem to hold up really well now. So, on the inside, I went with like a fabric feel. It's got navigational equipment for compasses and such. And here's that rope trim that I was talking about. Okay, so this one is a beach theme. It's Lake Eden near Black Mountain, North Carolina. It's a postcard. And then I have this. This book belongs to, and so she can write her name here. And then the back, this was created for the Vintage Day at the Beach swap on Junk Journal Junkies, July 2018, created by Rhonda Kasky of Rhonda World 365. And the theme was Vintage Beach. I went with navy blue, royal blue, crimson, and just a little bit of washi tape there just because it's cute. So inside we've got, this is I created a paper clip and stitched there. Behind it are 2 journaling cards. At the bottom here it says, "See you soon." And the journaling cards are like this. This one's like a baggage tag in case you were going traveling to a beach. I thought that kind of was cute. Mr. Peabody and the Mermaid. I just loved that look. It's really cute. And I'm moving my bottom paper here. Let me try and stick him back there. Okay. So Mr. Peabody is William Powell and Anne Blythe. And that is a journaling card. So the back has journaling room. And then I left a lot more journaling space in this journal than I normally do. And I added some trim here, and I added it to a lot of the pages. You're going to notice that this one's a little more open for journaling than my other creations. So I thought that vintage feel kind of seemed appropriately to leave more journaling space. This one's a journaling card. It's a picture, and I turned that into a journaling card. Ladies at the beach in their vintagey swimsuit. They're really pretty. And then these 2 are little advertisements. Summertime at the Cape. Life is a beach with little crabbies. Watch out for the crabs. That's funny. And then, like I said, I added this stuff. So as you can see here, when I close the journal up, there's lots of little bits and pieces, and it just looks real, full of interest. Okay, down here, welcome to our beach house. And behind that, I've enclosed a little envelope. I did not stuff anything in this particular envelope. I added some journaling paper. Every day may not be good, but there is something good in every day. And that's just extra room for journaling. Like I said, there's a little less of the extras, there's a little less of the pictures in here and more journaling space. But you'll find that a lot of my journaling cards and a lot of my tuck spots do incorporate the pictures. And that's kind of like a little journaling card, journaling space with the kids all sitting on the little canoe. They're real cute. And then I found these in a travel journal, and I pulled them out. I've tea-dyed them, and that one says memories and mementos. And if you flip it here, it says engagements, and there's tons of dates, location, note, time, and so it goes all the way down like that. So I've sewn some of these in as well. This one is a pocket, and there is tiny journaling, and this one is a little mason jar punch, and I've included those in there. And that's kind of like a canvas, or not canvas, burlap look paper. So then we've got this one here, and it's a little tag, and it's tucks right here in the back. There's a tuck spot behind that. This page is for journaling. Then here we've got the center of the first signature, and it says sealed with a fish, and I put the fish on here. And then there's a little receipt, something you might find if you were camping. You may include some of your receipts from weird stores or whatever you went to. And I've included this journaling card in the center. And he slides right back into there. Flip it. Alright, this says authentic vintage items. And I've got the Johnson suntan oil, and that's a it's an advertisement. Up here, Ventura, California, memories you'll treasure for the rest of your life. And a little paper, and I've added some washi tape to the top of that paper and just folded it. Now that one is actually not, I did not tea dye this. This one actually is a vintage paper. Well, it's a little older paper that I bought. It's already aged, so I didn't really want to do too much to it. Now this is, again, as I said, I've got some of those pages from that travel journal sewed it in. It says expenses, and it's kind of like an expense report, like date, item, total expenses, receipts, balance. And if you flip it, it says travel itinerary. And there's a whole bunch of different, like it says accommodations, date, from, to, via, departure time, arrival time, and there's several different options. And then notes at the bottom, contacts, and then flip here, Scarborough, on the sunny Yorkshire coast, and a little journaling page in there. And like I said, I left the tatterings so that it gave it that vintage, older appeal. Maybe things are a little unwoven or whatever. So then we got graph paper there. This one was a pattern paper, and I stamped a little cattail there. We've got our turtle tuck spot, and he's tucking in this little old picture of the gals and the guys, and that's a card, journaling card. I did tea dye some of this newspaper print, and I was liking it. It is a journaling card, but I went around and I circled certain things in it, like you might do if you pulled something out of a paper, a local paper, and you knew that person, just to kind of give it some realistic, effect or feel. This one again is a paper clip that I've made. It's got a little dangle here, and behind it I've got these ladies, and it's a journaling card. Purchase order, and I've sewn that into the top so you can write on that. And then behind that is the last page of the first signature, and that is like beach themed. And I added this little pocket. It says collect moments, not things. And then this paper, enjoy the little things in life. And all it is it's folded up kind of like an envelope. And I'm using this paper clip. This is just a mini paper clip. It's, just added extra. And it seals it right there. I think I'm going to get some black paper clips too, because I got the mini golds, but I don't have a mini blacks or anything. Alright, here we've got another paper to journal on in a tuck spot up at the top. You, me, and the sea. And the and is made with an ampersand and an anchor. Journaling card. Flip it. And this is all pattern paper. So I'm going to tuck that back in. Alright, and then we've got the Gulf Coast beaches. Behind that is a card with the ladies in their swimsuits. And it's, of course, journaling card. Now, I've done a lot of sewing for this one, but I thought vintage kind of seemed like sewing. If you can see here, I used washi tape to reinforce the papers that were that are just like regular tea-dyed papers, so that they had a little bit more substance to them as well. Kind of a what I feel like is a beach themed doily and a bird, and a card there tucks in, and behind you on the other side is, okay, so I created my own postcard. It says fun in the sun, and then here, postcard. So it was a stamp. And then another journaling card with a seahorse. This one says ready to eat crabs, Krabby Callaways, and then it says blue plate special, now serving. It's a cute little advertisement. Tucked up behind that is more journaling space paper, tea-dyed. There's a little stamp there. The graph paper. And we open it up in here, and we've got a journaling card. This does, it's sewn in, and you can flip it up if you want to journal behind it. And that is The Ladies by the Shore, and it's a journaling card, like I said. We flip this in. Now this envelope isn't paper quite, it's some sort of fabric-y paper, so it's got a texture to it, which is kind of neat. And then another one of those sales receipts sewn in. And then over here, it says Our Dream Vacation. That opens up for journaling. And on this side of it is Tuck Space, which I put a little tag in there. And that was done with Tim Holtz paper. Journaling space. The center of the second signature, Visit Florida. And that's a card as well. And then tucked down in, and I think that's all that I tucked in there, was these ladies, and they're doing some sort of kick line. And that's journaling card, journaling space. Now, as you can see, this envelope was made with a patterned paper. It's got the world. This is a Tim Holtz patterned paper. And I just thought that looked kind of like a traveling journal, beachy kind of feel to it. I really liked that one. And I did experiment a little bit with different sizings of papers. So there's some back and forth to, it's not all the same length. It doesn't give it quite that, uniform effect. That way it does feel more vintagey. Okay, Marine Studios, and there's a little seahorse again. He's a pocket. So I've added a little piece of that, what kind of looks like to me is accounting paper. And then I added another one of these little clippings, like paper clippings, and I circled Mississippi River Scenes, and then Kern is the name, and it says 65, like the page. Well, anyway, just like you might do in a journal. Sunglasses for a belly band. Burnham on the Sea, and that's a tuck right there. And what I did with these is I backed them onto cardstock, and in mostly navy blue. There are a couple of them that are backed into like a royal blue, just for an extra color. And then behind that I put the tea-dyed paper, and I sewed. So that's it. They're kind of nice and thick. They're gonna give some weight, and they're not gonna, fall apart. They'll hold up. Summertime. And it's a card. And there's that, it's like an orchestra. I'm sorry, this keeps unfocusing, and I'm not sure. It's every time I move. So that's like an orchestra. I'll raise it up. And the orchestra is like a beach orchestra. It's just something you might have seen in old times. Okay. Lined paper, patterned paper, stamp. And then Summertime on the Cape. Cape Hatteras Resort. New discoveries every day at Cape Hatteras Resort. So, and that is on another paper clip. So I'm going to flip the page with the trim. And this is the another paper clip that I designed. 3 little pearls and the ladies. And this is a postcard. Now this postcard to me felt a little too shiny. It is a vintage postcard. As you can see, the back here is actually worn. It's a little bit more vintage feel, vintage effect, but the postcard felt shiny, so I went around the edges with my knife, my what do you call that, my X-Acto knife, and then I went and inked a little bit on the edges just to give it that worn, a little bit more worn look, vintage appeal. Alright, now here we've got it's the Fly the Clipper to Hawaii, Midway, Wake, Guam, Manila, and China. It's a Pan Am Airways one, but it's showing a beach, and I just really loved that look. And that goes into a tuck spot that I've created by sewing a flap over on this page. And I'll show you why I added that in a second. Boarding pass, journaling card, of course. If you flip it, it's a Pan Am or Pan American World Airways thing there too. So I was like, I love that. Again, a little journaling. This one's just a black paper clip I added. Third signature, Going Coastal. And of course, a little bit of extra journaling space. this paper. It's that aged paper that I already had. And then we've got the girls here in a side belly band, in their swimsuits, all posing. And then journaling paper behind it, cropped and cornered. And then we've got some more pattern paper, tea-dyed paper. Now here is another one of those travel itineraries. And this one flips up, and behind it is journaling space, but I used like one of the front pages, so it just has that cute little embellished stamp or embellished print thing there. And then down here it says, when you stop and look around, this life is pretty amazing. Flip in here, we've got a tuck spot made by Beach Haven, tag slipped right behind, and that's sewn on tuck spot. This is another one that felt a little bit newer to me, so I went around the edges. Of course, that one is not a newer one either. As you can tell, it's a little bit more worn and dark as well, Florida. And then I've got this cute little paper clip here on the back of that wood paneling. And the paper clip has its own little charm. And then we've got another piece of writing paper. Nude beaches, swimsuits optional, voyeurism prohibited. Well, that's good. But I have the ladies here laying down in their garments. So I thought that was funny. I was definitely not going to include any nude beach photos. Ew. And I think that might qualify as voyeurism. But anyway, so we've got the two ladies, and she's got the little lobster pinch in the one girl's swimsuit in this cute little pocket I made out of burlap, and it's got some flowers on the edges here, and then it's got the shell. So that's a pocket, and it flips up. It's sewn in. Again, some more trim, and this is the middle of the last signature. And we've got a little beach scenery journaling card. I've got the fish and the two shells, and they're on the clocks. I just kind of liked that. And then center of the the envelope itself, because well, it's a pocket, I guess. I create these pockets to hide the sewing that I do for the pamphlet stitching, because some people leave them out, some people like them. I like to do that because I feel like it makes it look just a little bit more finished, but the sewing stitches are in there. You kind of, I don't know if you can see that, kind of see that there's like some stitching in there. And then this one is a dual page, so on the back and front I've kind of stamped this shells stamp, but it was composition notebook paper, tea dyed, and I just tucked that in for journaling. Now we've got, the back here, and then right here we've got another one of those paper clips that I've sewn around. And I'm going to show you this real quick, so it's going to pull that off, and I will fix that in a little bit. Okay, so I've sewn around the edge of this. I backed it onto cardstock, navy cardstock, sewn around the edge, and I used a little mason jar punch, and that's how I hide the smaller end of the paper clip. I get more use out of the larger end and more room, of course. And then what I do is, because I can make them sideways, I can make them tall, but they fit onto the page a little bit better, and I was really liking that look, and some of the ladies have really started doing this, so I definitely wanted to get into that portion of it. You know what, I'm just going to put this on, and then I'll tuck that little lady up in a minute. Alright, there we go, slides right on. This one looks like an envelope. I just folded it up to look like kind of like an envelope fold to feel. Tuck that right back in there, extra journaling space. This one says happy girls are the prettiest, and I put documented down by the bottom, and that just slides in there. And this is like a little embellishment with a different kind of little bird, and I just liked him. And then memories and mementos, excuse me, and then on the back is engagements, and you can write on that. That flips up. And there's that really nice looking slat board or whatever. And it's got a Martha Stewart punch in it. Graph paper. And here is a little, okay, this is a little envelope. This one's a glued back envelope. And let me see here. This is supposed to open a little bit more. I don't know why. Okay, maybe it's not. So this is the glued back envelope, and it's got like a little anchor there and everything. It's got a nautical theme to it. Journaling paper, journaling scrap paper. And then inside, oops, sorry, excuse me. On the other side, of course, you can write. Like I said, I was doing an experiment with different sizes of paper here, and that's a pattern paper. I keep poking things. Guest check, tea-dyed. It's like that. That's perforated, so it could come off if they wanted. This side has pattern paper. I put this palm tree and cute little sand dollar, and then behind it is the photo of the girls up against their surfboards. It's a journaling card, and it slides right in there. And then back here, there is a turtle and these two envelopes. So in it, I've included a tag here. And then over here is a journaling card. It says Traditions, and if you flip it, worth remembering. It's a bit of a cropped journaling card, actually. It was a regular size, one of those life ones. I can't remember exactly what you call them. But anyway, I cropped it to fit what I needed and what I liked. And then this is the last page of the signature, and this is the back. Again, it matches the front, and it's got that little pocket. I went with a little pocket here. And I added this postcard here, which is overlooking the great Galveston seawall of the Gulf of Mexico, Hotel Galvez, $1 million beach hotel, one of many prominent features for which Galveston is noted. And if you look at the back, it's obviously a postcard as well. So some travel, vintage, vacation fun in here. And that is my creation. So I hope you really liked it. Tune in next time. Well, actually, it'll probably be a few times down. As soon as I get her copy, I will go ahead and make a video of that, or whoever I get to swap my swap partner with, and you'll get to see that one as well. Until next time, keep on crafting. Thanks, guys.